I got as a blogger, I got a press release with a message saying how they loved Wired. Dear Wired reporter, we love Wired so much, and he was writing to me, right? So it was obviously a spam PR where they don't even, change the name at the top. That's like the minimum. That's kind of very often. And then, just last week, you have this PR agency, I forgot the name already, who pays interns to write reviews on App Store. I wouldn't have said it, But an army of interns writing reviews on the App Store so that you think it's good. This is just horrible practice, and I think we should advertise that it's really bad practice.
Okay. So, Louis, you gave this great pitch about being honest and true and all that stuff, but let's suppose that you are a marketing person and you don't have more than 1,000 followers, and of the 1,800 are spam bots. And so, it's fine and dandy for you to stand up or sit down up here and say, it takes years of being honest and open and all this good stuff, but these people have to launch a product in 3 months and they have 200 followers. What do they do?
Okay, so the bad way to do it, the really, really bad way to do it.
I don't want the bad way, I want the good way.
Okay, I'll concentrate on the good way. But I'm just saying the article that you put on the wall in the New York Times on others, they help you 2 days. Yeah, it's cool, you're proud of it. And, if you get those, we're all happy. That doesn't help much. Okay. It helps a little bit. So the way you do it is, I think you try to find an empty space where your product first has to be helping and creating something new that didn't exist. Seth Godin says you have to be the best in the world in what you do. Well, that's tough, right? But if you narrow the space as much as possible...
So you're the best French Twitter client.
Well, I'm based here, so I'm not sure about French. I'm French, my company is here. But we're trying to be the best tool to build a community online, And then gather a few users, get their feedback, I would say, especially if it's negative, and work on that feedback, total transparent, blogging it using tools like GetSatisfaction, User Voice, Salesforce has one as well, where you can have people vote on what they want. And honestly, it takes 10 users. And then you go and you can, email Guy Kawasaki or Louis Gray and try to pitch them. And that's a way which I think it's totally acceptable. And generally, they will want to learn about your new product because they love new products, but not with a press release. Try to meet them, have a drink. I'm sure you do that all day long.
I never, literally, I never meet people. I just... A word of, I'll give you a little insight into me. Fundamentally, I'm an introverted loner. And this is a role that's thrust upon me. So, honestly, I never meet with people. I'm just, what can I say? So don't give me your card saying I'd love to get together and talk about stuff, because that's just not my thing. If you can't get it done in 140 characters, it's...
You have a Chris Pirillo way.
I'm just trying to be honest and transparent. So Renee, you have zero marketing budget. You're introducing a product that is dominating a niche. What do you do?
I'm the opposite, by the way. I go out and meet people all the time. I think, number one, it goes back to Marketing 101, right? What problem are you trying to solve? And so I think, we're in Silicon Valley and we're looking at a lot of examples here where we're all on the web, right? And everyone's got a Twitter account. And frankly, if you're a company that's trying to sell cement and they don't have marketing dollars, then it's not going to be all about social media tools. So I think it's really taking a step back and remembering that messaging and branding comes first. What do you want to be, and what problem are you solving, and then go out and find out where those people are hanging out. I mean, this it's no different than it was 20 years ago. It's just the difference today is that 20 years ago we had about 20 influencers that we had to hit, and then we had 200, and now we have 6,000, and they're all hanging out at the long tail. And part of the issue is how much time do we spend with all of those people in the long tail trying to influence them and trying to have a conversation. So I would say essentially finding out, where those thought leaders are who would absolutely love your solution. So what do you have, like with, Seasmic's case, or, I have, for example, I have a client who has the largest site on the web for aging. And so essentially what we did, I told the CEO who's single and doesn't have kids, and I told her Twitter's going to take over your life, and you're going to go find every single boomer on the web and Twitter, and you're going to engage in a conversation with them. And she went from 20 Twitter followers to 2,000 within a couple of weeks. And, the woman doesn't have kids, so she's spending a lot of time doing this, engaging and reaching out. But essentially what's happening is she's learning about products and solutions that she can offer through her site that's actually solving a problem they didn't know about. And that's really through engaging with customers.
So she was engaging these people on Twitter. What keyword search did she do? Like Alzheimer's? What was she?
Yes. Alzheimer's, boomers, aging, reverse mortgages, right? Because anyone who cares about reverse mortgages.
Yeah.
Sandwich generation.
So you're telling me like Lonely Boy 16 wrote that I think I have early onset Alzheimer's. Out of the blue, she'd send that person a tweet saying, "Well, let me tell you about, eat more fish." I mean, what would she do?
Essentially find them, follow them, see if they follow back, and then begin the conversation.
So she found them with a keyword search. She
Correct.
Followed them.
Yes.
And then who initiated the conversation?
She began the conversation.
Now,
and so it's reaching out, and she didn't try and sell anything. I mean, it's a free site. There's nothing to sell. But even if there was, it's reaching out and finding out what problem do you have, how can I help, how can I serve.
But
right?
What if she does this so efficiently? Isn't she now a spammer? She's engaging in a conversation with someone she has no relationship with, out of the blue. Isn't that spam?
No, it's actually creating your community. And so,
that's if your client is doing it. What if... Would any of you consider this spam?
Yeah.
How many would consider this spam? How many would consider this good marketing?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both.
Okay.
But she has actually developed a community where 90% of these people are thankful.
Well, my Twitter account was suspended for doing what you just said, but that's okay. It's a whole other story.
Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is whether it's Twitter, whether
we should talk about that actually.
I think I have a lot of Twitter accounts. Huh?
Is it spam if you go to a blog that's relevant to, and covers boomers' issues? Is it relevant, to actually go and contact them and say, I want to begin a conversation? I don't think so. I think that's actually beginning a conversation and creating a community. But, I think you need to be really targeted. You really need to know where you're going. And so, that's one thing. And I think the other thing is be the expert. Like as an external marketing or PR person, actually be the expert in what the company is. So, for example, I write about travel because I'm passionate about travel. And, I write about it so I become the thought leader on it, not just your client. And so then you're actually part of that media conversation. Does that make sense? And so that's another thing that you can do is just get out there, be a thought leader in that area, and then go find the other thought leaders and find out where they hang out.
Okay. Steve.